Welcome everybody
Hello,
to,
hello.
Welcome.
yes, to today's multinational Zoom call. It would be great to have it in person, but it's not an option right now. Everybody knows why. Um, all right, let's start with some short introductions, please.
Yes.
Maybe Yoram, first word is yours.
Anyway, I'm the eldest, and so far, I'm Joram Bejarano. I'm a musician, and I'm playing together in the famous band Bejarano and Microphone Mafia with Kutlu and my mother.
Yes.
Nice.
And I'm 68 years old in 1 week.
Ooh, wow,
And
wow.
1 week. Well,
Yes.
then happy birthday.
Happy belated.
Yeah.
Kivumbi, you first.
Um, my name is KivumbiKing. I'm 21 years old, Rwandan, born to Rwandan parents. I'm a poet and a musician, and I do poetry and music as my career right now, and it's the only thing I do as a living to get a living here in Kigali. Yes.
Welcome. Kutlu?
My name is Kutlu. I'm also a member of the group Bejarano Microphone Mafia. I'm 47 years old. I'm the son of Turkish immigrants in Germany, but I was born in Cologne. And we are making hip hop for 32 years. We are one of the oldest rap bands in Europe. So it's an
Nice.
honor to speak to you, with you, about our music, about our aim, and so on.
It's a pleasure to be here to listen to everything you guys have to say.
The same for us.
Great.
Yes.
All right, then finally myself. My name is Valerie. I'm 23 now, and I'm son of German parents, but spent just about half of my childhood right here in Kigali. And after I went back to Germany to finish school, I came back here, and that's where I met King in the context of poetry. So I met him at a poetry event and kind of gravitated towards him immediately. And I'd say that's what connected us in the first place. I am also a musician in my free time, not quite making a living off it as King is, but who knows what the future holds.
Nobody.
Right. So we're here today to discuss the role of music and poetry in remembrance culture and remembering in general, also how it can help in dealing with the past. This talk is in connection with two videos, so some concert excerpts that we will also be slicing in to this video. Yes, we prepared a small show about 2 or 3 weeks ago, exactly about that topic. And beforehand, we'd researched Miss Bejarano, a very impressive figure to me, and that's also where we drew some of our inspiration. So to delve right in, to get to know all of you a little bit better, also as musicians, I wanted to ask generally, what is music for you guys? Kutlu, if you want to start.
For us, or for me and Rusty from Microphone Mafia, it's a mirror for us, for ourselves. It's we were a totally marginalized youth in Germany as we were young. You know, we don't know where we didn't know where we belong to. Neither to, in my case, neither to Turkey nor to Germany. In Turkey, they always told us you have to be Turkish, and when we say okay, we are Turkish, then they tell us your Turkish is not good enough. In Germany, they always told us you have to be German, you have to be behave like German, move like German. And when we accept that we are Germans, they told us, but you didn't look like German. So they always pushed us back. And music, rap music, was for us the first time. It's we don't rap music don't care about religion, about culture, about your skin, about your about your nationality. So rap music is welcoming you. For us, it was so, and we talk. It was a possibility to talk about our lives, to tell the stories of our parents and of us, in order to show here we are and we belong to you, and you belong to us. So listen to the music and about our pain, but also the good times in our life.
Interesting.
Good. For me, music is it's a shelter that I run to every time I'm alone and every time I need someone to talk to. It doesn't have to be someone exactly. I can just talk to the paper and make the sounds. I grew up in 3 countries. That is Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda. I studied in Uganda, my secondary school, and my parents live in Burundi. So I was in all of the places. Like the story Kutlu just told, that he couldn't find a place he belonged. He could go there, he say, you don't belong here, he comes here. That was the case to me too, but this was at a very young age. So I did not understand most of what was happening. So I had to find something to do, like moving to these countries where some kids spoke only like Luganda, and I didn't know English, I didn't know Luganda. I was very lonely, and music kept my company way through. And even now, in that I've started to grow up, it's still here with me, and it helps me express myself and also inspire the next generation that's behind. Yeah.
For me, it was from the beginning, when I was a young boy, satisfaction. I like to hear music and I wanted to play an instrument. And so I tried out, and then I became a musician. And I learned another profession, but I decided very early to be musician as the profession of mine, and I did it until today, and I will do it on.
Great to hear. Thank you, guys. Maybe in connection to this, I was wondering, what are some of the limitations that you find in music? So if you talk to an audience, do you always feel heard, or what are the limitations in trying to get your message across?
For me, in my case, it's the limitation for me was first to find an audience, to find a stage to express myself, which is not it's not very common here in Kigali. Like some parts of art, like poetry and slam poetry, that is not like included in the rap in the industry. There's no places to perform. There's no, so that was one of the limitations. I had to find a place, and after I found a place, you have to believe in yourself before anybody else believes in yourself. So that was another fight for me to like gain trust for myself and believe in my craft, though nobody else had heard it or like say this is good stuff. Yeah, for most of it. There's still very many limitations, but from the beginning that's the case. Yeah.
I think the limitation is sometimes in ourselves, because we think about what we can say to the audience, or what we can not say to the audience, and we fix the limitation for ourselves. But within the time, we've learned that you can say everything to a human being, but with respect and humanity. You can hold them the mirror in front of their face, but even this was respect, and not only accusing, and not with the thought that we, the musicians or artists, are the better ones. So these are the limitations. For me, in music, the only limitation is the limitation in ourselves and the limitation of respect. If we don't respect the audience, they won't respect us. So we have to be careful.
Yeah, for me, it was no contact to the audience in this way, that I talked to them when I started to be a musician, because I played with jazz bands and soul bands, and so it was only the music. And after the concert, the people came and told us that they liked it or not, but we didn't talk about politics. And this started when my mother asked me to join her band, and then I realized it's possible that there are other concerts, other people who are willing to have those people who will have to say something to the audience. And so it was the first time in 1991 was the first concert that I realized, oh, this is great fun to talk to people, and to talk to people after the concert also, and the great meeting. And so it was a new start for me, and wouldn't like to miss it anymore.
Great. Thank you. Kutlu, what you said about the limitations just being in ourselves, that definitely resonates a lot with me. I think I think many artists are out there that have so many things, so many beautiful things in their heads, but because they're afraid that
Yes.
people will not understand, or that they might offend somebody, they won't come out with it. And I think that's doing the world a great disservice sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
No, fear is always a problem in every circumstance in our lives, not only in music. If you are led by fear, it's for you and for your environment a great problem. And we start to act not like ourselves if we always led by fear.
Do you maybe have some tips for an artist listening to this that's maybe a little bit afraid? Can you share parts of your own story of how you got rid of that, overcame?
Just try, because I tell my pupils always, the audience in my rap workshops and so on, the audience is a bunch of sheep. They don't know what you're going to do. They don't know what you're willing to do, but you have to do it with proud, maybe with self-confidence, and they will accept you. If you're afraid of yourself, they will. They have a sense for that, and they will don't take you for granted. So just try. Music is, like Joram said, music is satisfaction. Music is a vehicle to bring people together, and so we as you enter the stage, you have to realize I am one of the persons who drive this vehicle in order to bring people together. and so just try. You can fall down, so stand up, try it again. Like in life, if we always would be afraid, we wouldn't have learned to walk. So fall down, stand up, try again.
Great. Yeah, so I guess we all have some trauma in our past, maybe some memories that that bother us. I know for myself that music has helped me greatly, even though it's mostly for myself. But I wanted to ask you guys, how has music helped you to deal with your past, or the parts of your past that need dealing with?
I'll start maybe from what Kutlu just said about fear and artists not believing in themselves and driving and taking the risk. So it's like, to be an established artist, you go through that period of not fearing and taking risks, and that is a terrible moment for most of us, because it's transition period, and most transition periods are not smooth most of the times. So I used to be afraid to look at what my country has been through, or what I have been through personally, like my family members and stuff. Music has helped me, music and poetry in this case, it takes me back. Like, I can now speak about these things to like very many people, like Kutu said, to ship people you don't even know. You open about them, about things in your past that you are afraid of, and all of a sudden you're not afraid of those things again. So music and poetry has helped me overcome very many things I was afraid of, like very many. Yeah, that's my point there.
I only was afraid when a new show started, and I didn't know if it fits together with the band, with the audition. And so I was nervous, but only 2 or 3 concerts, and then it was way this feeling of to be afraid of something. I was afraid to play good and not to make mistakes, and not to be too loud, and that the band fits together. This was always the only point where I could be afraid sometimes, but I'm not afraid anymore.
I think that is of the case. That is the case of the kind of music we are making, because rap music or jazz music is not only fun, but it's only specialized on music, how you play, how you play with the audience, how the audience likes you or didn't like you, so does not like you. But rap music or poetry slam has a special way and a special aim to not to even to educate, but to talk, to overcome some problems, to show some problems to the environment, to the society. So I think therefore there's a difference. It's not better or bad, or good or bad, but it's different. So for us was to overcome the fight with our parents, because a lot of years we reject our parents because we said, you always say yes, you don't fight against what they did and do to you, what they do to you. You always bow. And then with music, we started to realize that they fight You know, my parents came to Germany was 26 years. They were 26 years old, and they fight for us in German society without speaking the language, without knowing the culture. So it was the first possibility. The first was the possibility to overcome the rejection to our parents, and then of course the murders and the attacks of racists in Germany since the reunion 1900, and after the wall was down in 1989. So there always been racist attacks and murders and burnings, and therefore our music was the possibility to tell people what is happening in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Do you think music can be called a weapon?
Our name is Microphone Mafia, so I think so.
Yes.
Stephanie asked this too. You know, music as a weapon, is it possible to say? Of course. A weapon, the tongue is a more precise weapon than a gun. So maybe the tongue is do more harm,
Mm-hmm.
does more harm than a weapon. So
Yeah.
yes, or gun. Yes, music, words. Of course, they can be weapons. Yes, the weapons of knowledge, the weapons of teaching, the weapons of learning. Yes.
Yes. Even in this case, Valerie, in Rwanda in 1994, before the genocide, radio and music were used as weapons to spread the hate
Yes.
and
Yes.
and like propaganda. So there were like songs filled with hate. So me, I feel like music is actually a weapon of mass destruction. Like if it's put to good use, it gets to people's minds, and nothing gets to people's minds like music. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You present a very interesting point. The two sides of it. Any weapon can be used for good and for bad, just like
Yes.
comics, cartoons were used, just like hate speech can be written or a speech can be said, which is just poetry in a certain way. So I think it can be dangerous, and yeah, I think I guess every artist has a certain responsibility with their weapons or how to use their weapon. So the piece that King made is titled "Music Is My Weapon," and within it there's one piece called "Stand Up Soldier," which if you watched the concert, then you heard it, and that's quite a yeah it's quite a metaphor, and I think it's easy to be misconstrued or to not be seen the same way depending on who's listening, depending on who's hearing, because I know that in Germany we have a certain connection or a certain feeling about the word weapon or words like soldier or like war, used especially when they're being used in a positive sense or an empowering sense. Yeah.
But for me, it depends on the person who says that words. It depends on the person. When we use weapon, or when Kivumbi uses it, so it's something different than a racist or a fascist person uses it. So for me, it depends on the person and the metaphor. If we use it as a metaphor or as reality.
True.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the past and how the past influences music and how we use music to use our past or to deal with our past.
Viva libertà, non ci sta la paura, l'estate ca, la verità, senza radaka, senza bomba, senza guerra, e karamata beni çağıran siz, yine de iten siz, yüzüme baktığınız fakat beni görmediğiniz, bilmediğiniz bayram etiyle ithavlanamaz, barış namına bunca canlar yakılamaz.
שירו של שלום, עתי לך תפילה. שירו של שלום, צעקה גדולה. שירו של שלום, עתי לך תפילה. שירו של שלום, צעקה גדולה.
Esther.
We use our past to make and to fuel the music that we make, but we also try to use the music that we make to shape the world in a certain way. So how important is it to look at the past in terms of shaping the future, or with the goal of doing so?
Yeah, you have to look to the past to let people know what your meaning is. If you only say you want this and this, they wouldn't understand. But if you tell them it has been this, we don't like it anymore, we want to change some things, then you need the past.
I would take two sentences from Esther Bejarano. She said, the past belongs to the present in order to work for the future. So we have to know what happened in the past in order to avoid the hate, the murders, and the pain in the future and in the present. So I think without the present is the past and the future. So it's always linked to each other. There's no only the past, only present, only future. It's always linked together.
Yeah. To me, the past is like a book. So it's where I go to read, because human character doesn't change that much, like in a long time. So you can always know what to expect of people when you look at the past and know how to deal with it or how to move forward with that.
The next piece is called Stand Up Soldier. It's a call for myself and everybody out there listening to this to stand up and go find their true purposes. This is how I use music and poetry to deal with my dark memories, to turn them into beautiful ones. And in hopes that you are watching Esther Bejarano, I would like to greet you with everybody else here. Your story partly inspired us in the creation of this performance. We really hope you enjoy. Let's go. Stand up, soldier. Load your gun, shoot. Enemies coming closer. Stand up, soldier. Load your guns, shoot. Enemies coming closer. You wanna know why his eyes are red? And then, my friend, you should know how his days are spent. Cause if it's not none, then it's one plate a day, and that explains why he got nothing to say. He fights hard to be seen, and very hard to be free. But he doesn't know how to do that anymore, cause his stomach is crushing empty. It grinds itself. War's robbing, I'm sure he gets the pain. And this goes on again and again, but still he got nothing to say. Cause he knows these things are the same, and they're never willing to change. Soldier needs to be changed. His mind is an ocean of questions, based on the right or the wrong intentions. But is he ready to take the blame? Is he ready for the changes? Is anybody tired of solving the same cases? Or we just got comfortable with making the same messes? Stand up, soldier. Load your guns, shoot. Enemies coming closer. Stand up, soldier. Load your gun, shoot. Enemies coming closer.
Music can be a very polarizing thing. Yoram, you mentioned jazz. I feel like there's two kinds of people in the world: the people that love jazz and the people that don't love jazz very much. Maybe that's, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think it's interesting how one message spoken the same each time, heard that message can be heard so very differently by each audience member. Why do you think that is?
There's one thing my mom told me one day. It's you see artists write their songs and then they have meaning they have when they are writing these songs, and the audience gets its own meaning. And like in a room of 10, 6 people are gonna get their own meaning. For me, I feel like there's 2 reasons to that. It's just that even in real life, people see life in different ways. You know, it's like the half full, half empty theory things. Like people always gonna have like to look at it in a very different way. But also it's the metaphors artists use. An artist would construct a sentence that has 3 meanings at once, and then the audience also, it's a game on the audience too. Yeah.
And in addition to Kivumbi, it's and every person has its own experience,
Yes.
its own situation, thoughts, feelings, incidents. So everything is playing together. How you accept or want to understand a sentence. Mm-hmm. Maybe we want to understand a sentence not like the artist meant it. So that's beautiful in music and in art, that you give something and the persons take it in a different way. And now the point is we can talk about it. That's the problem. If you don't talk about it, if you hurt somebody and you don't talk about it, then the artist never know that he hurts him, and you will never release your soul of this this pain. So we have to talk about it. But it's beautiful that people understand a sentence in different ways. So it's great. Even not only as music, but only in a conversation. It's beautiful because it shows you have your own thoughts.
I think if the audience has a different meaning, then it's another meaning, and then it's not this what I wanted to say. And if it's like this, I can say this is not good, and then I have to change something so that everybody understands exactly that what I want to say. And if somebody has a different meaning to this point, then he might be an asshole.
Good.
The worst. And,
yeah. If he wants to misunderstand you, yes, of course. If
He will. Yeah.
wants to,
Then
yeah.
he'll find a way.
Yes.
It's the same thing. Like if he wants to understand you, he's going to understand you. But also, there's this thing metaphors do. It doesn't mean that what he understands is wrong. Sometimes what you meant is right, and what he got is right, but just in a very different dimension, I guess.
So once you've said something or once you've played something, do you think that you still have the right over how that is perceived or over how that is heard? Or do you think that you lose all the rights to how somebody hears this or how somebody understands this?
To me personally, I feel like all I can do is write my meaning. I can't write everybody's meaning. So I feel like you actually lose control over your art when it's gone.
For me, it's the same. I don't want to think about what other people's thoughts are. I want to tell them what my belief is and my opinion is, and if they can agree to it, it's great. And if they say no, it's not our style of life or our opinion, so it's okay. So, but I'm not able to write the meaning of something other, or the audience. Maybe it would limit you as an artist if you always think, oh, what is he thinking? What's he thinking? And that's the problem. So we always think about what other people's opinion is, but not our own.
We are telling the audience things we discussed already, and we know what we are saying. And if we say that we want the people to just be friendly to the refugees in Germany, then it's 100% that is our meaning, and we want the people to be like this. And if they are not, they can go away.
And I think they are not going to come to our concert if they're not thinking not the opinion of us, because we are talking about racism, about sexism, about anti-Semitism, and I don't think that nationalists or fascists will attend our concerts. So
no, but other people, we had this moment already that somebody is going out of the concert because he doesn't like what we said, and so it's okay. Like when I say we don't like the politics in Israel, then there are some people who came from the Jewish how do you say Jewish community, and then they are going, and they hate us then.
They hate you above all. Because you that's right. So sometimes we are talking about the Jewish genocide in Germany in the past, and everybody's accepting it in the audience. Then we talk about the present and the problems of refugees and the death in the sea, in the seas, in the water, and they are. And then some people say, yeah, but then they got a problem because in the present. Then it's not only in the past, and that's right. There are sometimes people who felt that we accuse them, but we are accusing not this person. We are accusing our society, and we are all also a part of a society, and we accuse at the same time us as a society. And okay, sometimes Yoram is right. Sometimes there are some people who are yes, we reject our message of the present, not of the past.
But generally, they stay and
Yeah.
they come after the concert and say, "We're happy that you make us able to just do some things in this respect." What we told them, and this is quite nice to hear this. It's more this than the other thing.
Yep.
All right. I'd like to take the example of a fascist at a Microphone Mafia concert. You said a fascist would not come to our show because of his perception and how he looks at the world and everything that he hears or sees. But the goal, if I understand you correctly, your goal in part is to change that perception.
Yes, but not only, but not of racist. It's a problem. I think it's a real problem to change a racist or fascist. But the people who are in the middle of the society, the general society, we have to inform them. We have to win them, but not only with politics or social aims, but only with the heart. We have to win them in order. This world is for us. We have only one world, and this world belongs to us. And no matter which background you have, let's come together in order to fight against these fascists. And even if then, not only but a conservative or right conservative will change his mind, then we win. But a racist is really difficult to change. The society have to change him, but not our concert.
In addition to what Kutlu is saying, is to me, I believe art like poetry and music, it can do so much, but to change someone's behavior,
yes,
it's a long process. But the best thing about music and poetry is that you inform people the same way you say it. The audience comes, you tell them what's going on. We ask questions. Like me as an artist, I feel like my main task is to learn, inform, and ask questions. Yeah.
Yes. And you,
right?
You?
No.
Okay. And it's the next question, Valeria. I know our music empowers us, ourselves, but empowers also the audience. People who do not know if they can fight the problem, if they can stand up, if they can show courage. And people who are not self-confident enough to stand up in a bus if there's a racist saying or a problem. So we empower them too. We empower ourselves with our music, but at the same time, the audience. And that is a connect. In our music, I think in Kiwambis too, is the empowerment of us as a person, as an artist, but also the audience. Not the whole audience, but if we empower 3, 2, 4 people in this audience, we won. That's the first step to change. Step by step, as Kiwombi said, it's a long process to change. Not only, it took a huge time to change ourselves. So it's a problem to think that we can change people in the audience faster. So it's a step by step, person by person. Then we achieved our first aim beside music. The first aim is to make music. The second is to inform people, to talk to people, to create a connection to people.
Yeah, and also to add to that is that artists talk about things that the normal people don't want to talk about.
Yes.
Raise questions and discussions that the audience can talk about.
Yeah.
In addition to that, because we have a safe area. The stage is a safe area. It's something different to enter the stage and talk about problems or politics or social problems. It's easier than in a bus. It's easier than in a street. So therefore, yes.
Wait until they are coming to take you away.
Maybe then we enter the streets. We get off the stage and enter the streets.
Yes. It's funny how most of the artists have that one show where the police comes and takes everyone. Just stop the music and stop everything.
Yes.
Yep.
And nowadays, it's a different reason because of COVID. But if we want to play now a concert in the streets, they would take us. They would take us. No matter in Rwanda, in Germany, in Turkey, in Italy. So it's a kind of strange situation now.
But this is not, in this case, the lyrics are not important. It's only the thing, what you are doing that you... And
yes, of course.
You understand that. But if you are in Belarus, it can happen that they are coming to take you away. So
yes, of course. Not only Belarus.
Because of what you say, not where you say it and how you say it.
Genau. Yes.
Exactly. So what I wanted to add, or I guess this is a thought that came listening to Kutlu. I know for myself, the only motivation that lasts is self-motivation. When I want something for myself because I know that it's the right thing. And I also know from myself that if somebody tells me I need to do something, it's difficult. It's difficult sometimes. I think music really helps to bridge that, because I am who I am today because of the music that I listened to and because of the stories that they told me.
Yes.
So it's funny, they tell me what to do without telling me what to do. So they just present the facts and then I choose what to do with it myself.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, which is also the problem with the fascist that doesn't want to come to your show. He knows what is right and he knows what is wrong.
Yes.
No amount of good rhymes will change that.
Yes.
Maybe.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That's the goal.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Wow.
Well, for the fascists, we need the whole population that they help us against them. This is the way. We only can say this is what we are doing on our concerts, that we ask the people just to wake up and to see what's going on and to handle. This is what
Yeah.
we can do.
Yeah.
Kutlu, just now you said that you or that we as artists also empower the audience to do something. I think the audience also massively empowers the artist.
Yeah, of course, yes, yeah.
Yeah, think of an artist alone standing somewhere
Yes.
with no audience, and then that same artist with 5 people, 10 people standing there to listen.
Yes. Yeah, yes, but of course you're right. It's not a one-way street. It's so giving and taken. Giving and taken. It's always it's connection. Hopefully it's a connection. Well, before we played with Esther and Joram, our audience was amount smaller than now, and we were a group for special community for people who love rap and who listen to rap. And now our audience has changed. There are a different space of people in the audience, and that's in addition to you to what you say. Yes, we need, of course, we need the audience. The audience sometimes needs us, but we need the audience sometimes more than the audience us.
To what Valerie said, an artist standing alone in a room to an artist standing in front of people, that brings me to a point where like we are all artists and we have talent, but on top of that, there has to be the drive, the ambition to actually stand up.
Yes.
And even if we had no talent, people like us would stand up and say what we have to say. So some people have talent, but they don't have that, which makes we learn this, but yeah, it brings me back to my point. It all depends on the person and the type of artist you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that depends in addition to the person you are. If you have the courage to get to enter the stage, then people will see your talent. But if you're only in your if you're only making music within 5 walls, it's no problem. It's your choice to make your kind of music. But the next step is to have the courage and present yourself and offer yourself to the people.
Does music help you to more to remember or to forget?
Great.
Good question.
Good question. Yes.
To me, I don't think it's forgetting, to be honest, because even the things, it puts me in a certain environment where I don't have to care about very many things. But healing from those things is actually having the strength to remember and deal with them, and then those things don't scare you away. So music helps me make memories, I might say. That, yeah.
Music is a kind of remembrance. It's a way of remembrance. And it's good to remember and to work with memories. And music is, in our case, some people are painting, some people are writing, some people are making sports. In our case, it's music. But I would like to hear Yoram to this question, because it's a really good question.
Yeah.
Does music help you remember or forget?
Nothing. No, it's always remembering, and I wouldn't like to forget anything. So this is remembering. And if I would write lyrics, it would be in cause of remembering something. And if it was yesterday or something, it's just to be on the point. And the past, we talked about it, helps me. And I like to remember. I like to remember, and I like to read things I don't know about, uh, to get known of this stuff. So this will remain in my remembering. So it's very important to remember.
Great. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Does one of you guys have a question for the room, maybe?
I want to know what kind of picture it is
Behind King?
behind King. Yeah, this nice.
These are women dancing. They're
Ah,
women dancing, stretching their hands out like this.
you did it, or
No. I did not do it.
He paints. He paints.
I paint. I draw too. Also, expressing myself is it's through art and paints and colors and also words. Yeah, but me, I have a question. I have a question for everyone in here. Would you rather a life without music? It depending on everything, that if you were like to pick something else apart from music that you think would express your feelings just the way music does it, what would that thing be?
maybe acting? But I'm not an actor. And painting also,
Nice.
or making films, movies. So if there's something I want to talk about, I can make a movie also.
True.
For me now, also movie acting. I'm acting in theater now, but before the decision to make music, it would be sports. I played football, basketball. Some people say good, some people say not. But after I decided to make music, I think there would have been no other way for us, because above all rap music, because our parents keep the money in order to bring the money to so-called home country Turkey, and so we were not able to wish a guitar or a bass or a drum, and then rap music came into in our lives, and we started to write. You only need music and the pen and your paper and write it down. So therefore, I think the only possibility for us and the way we are now acting was rap music. No other possibility for us. Maybe if we really would have turned to Turkey, maybe there would have been other ways, but I don't think so. And in your life?
Me, I would paint, but what you just told me is very good, that some people don't think that some people are stuck in situations where they're left with only one way of expression, because the world is open. The things are always available. That's very powerful, that the only way that you could express yourself and feel heard was through music. To me, I would paint. I would paint because I was drawing ever since I was a kid too. Yeah.
For me, it's also, I like to repair bicycles.
Yeah.
Had been a time I had 30 bicycles and I never sold one. I just give it as a present.
Ah, nice.
And so this is something where I just can relax very, very nice. Just to do something.
And it's also a way to influence your environment, because if you are calm, if you are satisfied with the things you do, like you do, then you influence your environment, the people around you, because you give them your satisfaction, your calmness. You give them to these people, and I think that's also a kind of changing, or not changing, but helping other people.
This I would call it also a type of art, though it's just repairing bicycles, but you would touch people the same way music touches people in that cut.
Repair two persons their bicycles and give it away and say it's for you. So yeah, you will win two hearts, two persons. They will
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
I never forget your run and his bicycle. So
Yeah. And once again, that is taking the past, a broken bicycle, reshaping it into the future.
Wir leben trotzdem. Wir werden leben und erleben und schlechte Zeiten überleben. Wir leben trotzdem. Wir sind da.